Please call the medic, this beat came to me on a stretcher. In the lab, I step to the mic and feel like I'm Dexter. I'm a man, dark world, but I'm still shining like treasure. Yeah, I got joy like ha ha ha. Wait, and I can't wear smiles, that's fake. Then I'm between love and strong. Hate clock says no time for mistakes. Ring the alarm, sirens go off, but I'm calm. My life resides in his palm. Submit to my pops, respect for my mom. Honor them both, so my life will be long. Third time, get the charm of the third strike. Had to.
What's going on, drivers? Welcome to Trucking with Ole Snapper. We got this little podcast going on tonight. Gonna talk about poly trucking, but before we get into that, y'all go ahead and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. It's free, doesn't cost you a thing. We're gonna talk about the trucking dilemma, the slowdown that's been happening across the industry. It's been going on for a while now, and it seems to be getting worse instead of getting better. But before I get into that, because I am going to mention poly, I'm going to leave a little disclaimer. I don't represent poly trucking. I don't work in the office. I don't know a lot of those people. I'm just a driver. I just work here. And anything I say in here is just basically my opinion from what I see. And it's going to be a little bit of a conversation I had with another poly driver here recently. Is what kind of led up to making this video, and making this podcast and putting it out. Now, we've all seen the slowdowns. You got Yellow Freight just went out of business, the largest or one of the largest LTL carriers in the country. Estes has offered to buy their terminals. I think they offered a little over $1 billion for their terminals. We all see that going through the news. I reported on that a few days ago myself, or last week sometime. So we all see what's happening. That's just one. I think Swift sent out a mass message that they've changed some things over there. Prime is kind of downsizing. They're not letting people go, but they're not filling trucks as fast whenever a driver leaves. And Prime's slowed down their hiring. Other companies have slowed down their hiring. I know a friend of mine actually that was trying to get into trucking, went to trucking school. He was looking for a starter company. He was having a hard time finding one. He even called Western Express, and Western Express told him they didn't have anything for him right now. He lives in Louisiana. And I'm sure some of you out there listening have probably heard that recently as well. Trucking companies are getting a little stricter because they can, right? There's not as much freight. Freight volume's down. Freight rates are down. A buddy of mine that's a broker had to go get a part-time job because it's so freaking slow. It's hurting them as well, just as much as hurting us. So with that being said, I ran into this poly driver, and this guy tells me, he says, do you think they're going to get rid of the trucking division? Because some of our freight goes out to owner-operators, and some of it goes on us. And I told him, I said, I don't think so. Why would they do that? And he said a couple reasons. He said, one, the backhauls, are getting harder to get, a little slower because the spot market's slower. And I said, but I think Poly years ago used to run it without backhauls at all. And if it really came down to it, they could probably do that again if they really wanted to. So backhauls is kind of an extra. I don't think it's a mandatory thing, but I may be wrong. That was my response to him. And he said they pulled like 100 trucks. They pulled a bunch of trucks off the fleet a while back. They still haven't replaced them. And I said, I don't know what the deal is with that. I said, I don't buy trucks here, and I don't sell trucks here, so I don't know what the thing is. I said, I think if you remember, it was all the ProStars or something like that. I don't even think they make those trucks anymore that they pulled out. I think it was also to free up so the mechanics were able to work on what we're driving rather than constantly working on them trucks, because a lot of them were pretty old. I think they were like 4 or 5 years old, 6 years old, So it lowered the average age of the fleet. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's why they pulled them off. I said, and as far as buying trucks, and this is what I told him, I said, trucks are on a back orders from what I understand. I don't think you can get ordered trucks that quickly. So if they ordered trucks when they pulled them off the fleet, they probably still wouldn't be here yet. I said, but I really don't think they're going to get rid of the of the truck poly trucking division, right? I said it just wouldn't make sense. We save them a lot of money by hauling the freight in-house rather than having to put it on outside carriers, even with the rates as low as they are, right? But as a couple days went by, I got to thinking about it, and I was like, man, making me kind of nervous now, and I was getting ready to take a few days off. I've been out since I started. I hadn't taken any time off since I started back. So I was like, I'll go ahead and ask somebody. I'll be at the office. I'll just ask somebody. So I asked somebody, are we all right? And he said, yeah. He said, we're fine. We have no problem at all. We're still hiring, still looking for drivers. Everything's great, and kind of verified what I had thought. He said it's too much of a benefit to get rid of in-house trucks because we save so much money. The amount of money it cost us to put it on outside carriers is astronomical. Now, he did say, he said, well, with the newer drivers, sometimes it's hard to find a driver that fits in here at Poly. And he's right. It is. Poly's different. Poly's different from any trucking company I've ever worked for, ever in my entire life. And it's company drivers, but it's ran a lot like if you were an owner-operator. Okay, you pick your own outbound load. You put yourself on the board. If you don't put yourself on the board, ain't nobody calling you. If you need somebody to hold your hand, this is not the place for you. Now, you got to be very much self-motivated, and I've said it before. It's very different. Very, very, very different. I've ran into drivers that'll say, man, I'm not getting no miles, and I'm not getting this, and I'm not getting that. And it's like, man, well, if you're not getting no miles, that's probably because of you. You try to say it in such a nice way, but you're the one in charge of putting yourself on the board available for a load. And I've never put myself on the board and not got a load. Now, I might have to wait a day, but then they're going to pay me for the day I waited, so it ain't like I lost. I've had them call me for back calls when I really wasn't even ready for the back call yet. They did it to me down in Laredo. I delivered the load, and they hit me up with a back call going to Oklahoma, and I just barely had the hours to make it. I hadn't put myself on the board yet, and I hadn't done it because of my hours. I was going to put myself on the board for the following day. So, I mean, the back calls are still there. It's slowed down, but they're still there. And I don't know what the truck situation is. I don't know if they're buying new trucks, and I didn't ask today, so have no idea on that or how any of that's working. But I thought, well, if that driver thought that, there's probably other Poly drivers here wondering the same thing. So maybe I'd make a little video, just kind of clear the air. We make trash bags, man. Freaking trash bags. All right. They ain't going anywhere. People are going to buy trash bags. That is something that is needed. Now, I know what some of you might say. You might say, well, Prime is slowing down. Prime is cutting back. They're a refrigerated company. Tyson Foods just closed 4 plants, and that's food related. And normally during slow times in recessions and different things like that within trucking, you're usually safe. Your safest bet is normally is in food and reefer. That is normally your safest bet. When I came into the industry, it was real slow. 2008 crash wasn't, it was still kicking and all that. I started out in refrigerated. I really didn't notice a downside. The flatbed drivers did. The dry box drivers did. But not in the reefer. We didn't slow down and never stopped hiring. Stevens at that time was hiring like 60 people a week. So it didn't affect it. So it's got drivers a little more nervous this time because they see food hauling companies slowing down. All right. I don't know why it's going like that. It's unusual. It may be in their business plan. I have no idea. I don't know what's coming that they see that we don't see. And from a business perspective, they probably see some things that we don't see. A lot of it too with business is guessing. You know, so the CEO over there is kind of looking at the market and he's taking a guess as to what he needs to do. You know, and that's why CEOs get replaced a lot, right? So, I mean, because they can guess wrong. It happens. You know, so, I mean, that's just the deal there. But I don't think here we really need to worry about it too much. Pretty safe. We're the private carrier. We're the private carrier that needs the drivers. We, you know, but we definitely need drivers that are self-motivated. Drivers got a little bit of snap and know how to take care of themselves and don't need anybody to hold their hand, you know. But I just wanted to put this together and put this out there. I don't know how many of y'all that watch me. I know there's two or three of y'all that watch me that work here, you know, but I don't know how many other ones of you that watch me work here. But yeah, there's no concern at all. Now, if you're coming to Poly, or if you're at Poly and you're having a hard time, talk to somebody, you know. But you do need to be self-motivated. You do need to put yourself on the board, on the outbound board or the backhaul board as soon as possible. You know, you need to keep up with when your truck's due for maintenance and kind of plan on getting it into Dallas to get that done. You know, all that kind of good stuff, right? Treat this job just like as if it was your truck and you were an owner operator and you were getting on the spot market board to get a load. You got to do it just like that. You know, get one of the ladies in the office. I know Darlene's down there. She's really good about helping people, you know, and she will help you whatever you need. But I just wanted to put that out there. That's all I really got for this evening. So if you're looking at coming to Poly, there ain't no slowdown here. Everything's fine. And I know a week or two ago, someone had come to Poly and they had mentioned putting my name down on the application. I'm going to tell you like this. I've said it before. I don't care if you put my name down or not. It does not matter to me. All of my videos in the description have my email address. And even if you don't put my name down, if you have a problem, email me. If I can't help you and I don't have the answer, I might be able to give you somebody, you know, send you in the direction of somebody who can help you. Also, I want you to do your own research before coming here. Don't just go on what I say. What works for me may not work for you. You know, what I enjoy and what has been profitable for me may not be profitable for you. So I want you to do your own research and ask questions. Stop Poly drivers, man. Ask them. You see them in a truck stop, ask them. We get fuel at Love's, any Love's in the country. So if you're going to run into us, it's probably going to be at a Love's truck stop. Keep that in mind. You know, and if you are working here and you got a question, or maybe you're having a problem, shoot me an email. All of my descriptions. And like I said, I don't care if you used me as a referral or not. I don't care. I'm not on here for that. I know some of these YouTubers do that, and that's their main thing. I've made other videos. I do not care about that referral bonus. I make a dang good living here without it, you know, so it doesn't matter to me. If you're happy and you're making a living and supporting your family, that's all that matters. And that's at any company. You know, even if you were to go somewhere else and go to work, as long as you're achieving those things in life, that's all that really matters. But anyway, I want to close this out. Y'all take care, stay safe, and be good to one another. And let's keep trucking.
Please call the medic. This beat came to me on a stretcher. In the lab, I step to the mic and feel like I'm Dexter. I'm a man, dark world, but I'm still shining like treasure. Yeah, I got joy like ha ha ha. Wait, and I can't wear smiles, that's fake. Then I'm between love and strong. Hate clock says no time for mistakes. Ring the alarm, sirens go off, but I'm calm. My life resides in his palm. Submit to my pops, respect for my mom. Honor them both, so my life will be long. Third time, get the charm of the third strike.